Yeah, so Mustafa and I right now are actually full-time. So,
oh, wow.
yeah, I stopped going to school, he quit his job, and we're full-time on Clearmaze. Yeah.
That's a hustle.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? That's the initiative that you take when you want your company to move forth. So we wake up really early, around like 5 or 6, go to the gym, and then work on this till probably like 10 o'clock at night.
Yes, that's how you do it. There you go, there you go.
Just in the month of January alone, it's like we've made more progress than we have within the months of like July to December.
You learn a lot more too. You learn if the company needs to pivot or not. You learn what other extra things your company has to do to get yourself to your goal or your mission.
Hi, my name is Jamal. I'm one of the co-founders here at Clearmaze Technologies.
Hi, my name is Nadeem, and I'm one of the co-founders of Clearmaze Technologies.
Hey, my name is Mustafa. I'm also one of the co-founders of Clearmaze Technologies.
So, hi, we're an ed tech company, and basically we developed a web application that helps streamline the process for community college students to find classes that would eventually transfer over to a four-year institution.
And our mission is to help the community college students graduate on time, because the current national rate for the graduation tends to go around 4 to 5 years. So what we want to do is we want to provide a platform and a resource to help those students transfer over all their courses successfully and be able to graduate within the 4-year time span.
Why is it difficult right now for students to transfer their credits from community college to university?
The number one thing is, not all credits are created equal. It's just that sometimes the syllabi might differ. And that's one of the biggest pain points for many students around the nation, is that they don't know that information until it's usually too late.
Yeah, and not only that, but even if they did take the initiative to try to make sure those classes do transfer, it's very tedious. A lot of these students, they end up going through a bunch of different PDFs, a bunch of different links and solutions online, and it takes hours, if not days.
What made you decide that this was a problem worth solving? What value did you see in providing a solution to this for people?
So it definitely started with a personal problem for me. I was a community college student. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. You know what? I love to cook, but you know what I love more than cooking is making sure that my credits transfer. And when I applied to transfer over, I ended up realizing that the university I wanted to go to wasn't going to take all my courses. One, all those times I spent studying for midterms and finals is like gone down the drain. The money that I paid for those courses is, gone down the drain.
If you go on Twitter right now, you just type in transfer credits, you're going to see thousands of tweets of people just complaining about it. So it's like they essentially validated the need for a product such as ours.
Just by all the people complaining?
Yeah, literally, and it's always getting updated. So,
That brings up a good point. We actually have a bot, and it looks for the word transfer credits, and if there's anyone that tweets about transfer credits, we get notified about it.
You let them know that you're developing Clearmaze. You're saying, we soon will have a solution to your problem.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
We reach out to them. Hey, we understand. We feel you. We've been there. We've done that. That's why we're doing this. So,
as far as I know, the product is still in development, right?
Right now we have a landing page, but the actual product itself is developed. So.
And you've been testing it?
Yeah. So, basically in the past, we had the opportunity to sit in front of a bunch of students, and then we can go back and tailor their needs to our platform.
But now we're just lining up students. We have about 150 people signed up, ready to use our platform.
So how do you get people signed up?
Yeah, so very grassroots initiative. Last week we went to College of DuPage. We had about 100 people signed up.
And so when you were talking to the students, what was the moment that they would sign up? How would you gauge that demand?
First of all, something that really struck out to us was, usually when you have something in class and it's like a sign-up sheet, people just pass it around, right? If someone did not get that sign-up sheet when it was being passed around, people would ask, let me get that sign-up sheet, I want to sign up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how much they really were intrigued by the platform we were offering. So, basically what we did is, we started off, we presented in front of the class, we got to understand the problems they faced with the transfer, and they're like, yo, what's going on? I want to better understand this. Everybody signed it up, so.
This is the full Clearmaze team right now?
No, we have one more guy, and he's out. He wasn't able to make it because he's sick today. Okay. But his name is Sri. Him and Mustafa are the ones that actually developed our tool. So we did all our own development, all our own coding, everything. So
I know at this early of a stage, you guys aren't just doing one job, you're jumping around.
Yeah, everybody does everything.
hats.
Yeah. So, Mustafa and I kind of bounce back and forth, as well as Jamal does as well, in regards to, meetings, marketing, funding, how our platform is released, the different institutions that can possibly be jumped onto our platform. And then Sri is relayed this information down. He's seen how he can implement it from the tech side as well, and he gives us his perspective in regards to how everything is done. Obviously, as we grow, we'll all have our own solidified, tasks at hand. So, yeah.
What strategies have you been using to build hype for Clearmaze? I saw you guys wrote a Medium article even about it, describing the problem and what your mission.
Yeah.
You guys are running some social media, looking for tweets with transfer credits in them.
Right.
What type of stuff like that are you doing to look for the students that are facing this problem?
Right now, because we're so early in what we have to offer, what we do heavily is in-person marketing. We go to these institutions and we go and talk to our market of users. We better understand the issue at hand from their perspective. What do you feel about the transfer process?
Transferring? I ain't worried about that. I got Clearmaze.
I'm in a Rolls Royce in the back seat.
You want to build hype within that ecosystem. So when you talk to certain students in certain areas in that institution, everybody talks to each other. Like, they talk to these Clearmaze guys, I heard they're doing this. And, I got presented to them in class. I heard they're doing that. So that little hype builds.
In terms of what we do online, our social media presence, is we heavily rely on Twitter and Instagram right now. So on Instagram, what we do, we build more of a brand engagement and kind of, the culture of, who we are as a company. When you're growing a company, you don't want to alienate yourself, from a user. Right. And then in terms of what we do on Twitter, that's just basically customer discovery. So as we mentioned a little bit earlier, we go out, we reach out to these students and, we engage with them.
We believe that if you build something from the feedback of a user and we implement it, then the students are actually looking forward to using our tool because they helped build it, right? So having that personal level touch, especially at this very early stage, it's essential to this product.
And this is all hype among students, but within the startup community here in Chicago, what we do is we take advantage of Eventbrite. So there's a lot of free events on Eventbrite, and we go and we pitch to people at these events.
Oh, you use Eventbrite?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. For us, it's not a matter of users and target customers, whereas it's just better connecting to the startup community here in Chicago. So for all the entrepreneurs that are probably watching this and thinking what they can do on a very low budget, if not free, Eventbrite's the way to go. Because we go to a bunch of events for completely free, build the hype of what we're doing here in the Chicago Startup Pub. It's a very nice community here in Chicago. So,
in terms of the actual tool, once people get on Clearmaze, how are they literally going to be able to transfer their credits?
Right. So, the problem that we saw was that students are having a hard time obtaining the important information, right? There's intimidation around the problem. So what our tool does is that we ask ourselves, how can we remove the intimidation, right? So we made it as simple as it can be, right? If student logs into our platform, they'll be greeted with a very nice, user-friendly message. And if you scroll down, they'll see 3 simple choices. First step 1 is to choose a community college. So you go ahead and pick college into page. And then you can pick your university. So let's pick University of Illinois at Chicago. And then last but not least, choosing your major. So let's pick accounting. And immediately, with the click of a button, we're able to give them a nice dashboard that helps them visualize how they can transfer from a community college to a university with that intended major. On the left-hand side, you will see a pie chart that shows you what percentage of your degree can be completed via the community college route. On the middle, you'll see contact information. A lot of students have a hard time finding the right contact information, phone number, website, email address of the people at the right institutions. And then if you scroll further down, you'll actually get to the bread and butter of our website, which is the actual transfer guide. You'll see the major core requirements and the general education requirements and the major core requirements. So you'll see other categories, and then you can click on the category. It will reveal to expand all the courses that fulfill that category. If you scroll further down, you'll see the same thing going on with the major core requirements. And what's really cool is that, when we were first talking to students, they didn't really get what English 1101 was or English 101 was. They wanted to know the course name itself. So if you hover over the course number, you will also see the course name, instead of having the student to go back to the catalog and retrace what the information is. So you'll see a handy print my transfer guide button on the bottom where you can go ahead, print it out, and then engage in a more productive and meaningful conversation with the counselor themselves.
Generally, how much do you guys work on Clearmaze every day? And what are some obstacles that might prevent you guys from working on this more often?
Yeah, so Mustafa and I right now are actually full-time. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I stopped going to school. He quit his job, and we're full
Really?
time on Clearmaze. Yeah.
That's good. That's a hustle.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? That's the initiative that you take when you want your company to move forth. Jamal and Sri have one more semester, so they're almost done with school. So obviously they didn't have to leave, but they work on it whenever they're not in class. So
Before these guys went full time, the biggest issue was just finding a day to meet, honestly. Because what we were doing is we would have to just meet up, like group meetings, every Friday, just once a week. So it's like, if you think about that, the company only progressed, once a Friday or, once a week. And as many, Google Hangouts conversations or, conversations on Slack that we could have, it's like if you're not with your team, all in a room, like, on a daily basis, then, things will start progressing very slowly.
I definitely feel
Especially
that.
as a startup.
Especially as a startup, stuff going on every day. And, like just in the month of January alone, it's like we've made more progress, significantly much more progress than we have within the months of like July to December, probably.
Yeah.
What is your longer term vision for Clearmaze? Maybe some short term or some long term goals that you see the company going towards, and how do you see yourself getting there from where you're at right now?
We're trying to, right now address the transfer problem, right? But at the end of the day, our buying customers are going to be the community colleges, and we talk to these higher ed people. We also realize that the problems of the students, there's also problems that the higher ed administrators feel, right? You've built a platform that addresses both not only the students, but also the people that are helping the students solve the problems.
in regards to maybe fairly short-term wise, obviously, once we're able to solidify our market here in the state of Illinois, we'd love to spread off to different states and offer state-by-state transfer to enable the students on our platform have a broad choice or options in regards to when it comes down to transferring. Heck, we found that a lot of these institutions, they have communication barriers between each other. They don't understand what's going on either end. Whether a course is changed at one school, and another school doesn't even know if that course has changed. So, we asked ourselves, what if we can bridge that communication gap?
I think right now it's about focusing on this transfer problem, right? One reason companies sometimes fail is because they just grow in their services too quickly, right? And once we have, the capital and resources to expand into the other realms, eventually we will get there.
Hustle Gurus is all about connecting and adding value to other people's work around the city. If someone watching this right now wants to reach out, maybe they're interested in Clearmaze in general, or they potentially want to work with you guys, where should they contact you? And are you looking for any specific talent right now to grow the team?
Yeah, I guess for starters, I would say email Mustafa directly.
mhoda@clearmaze.net. That is mhoda@clearmaze.net. In terms of specific talent, one thing that takes a lot of time on our end is data entry. It sucks. It's not fun. So, I think it's a good learning experience in terms of like someone wants to learn how databases work and the relationships between different tables and how they work in a dynamic environment to display information that's very helpful for students.
Yeah, and then in terms of, I guess, marketing and, social media initiatives, we're always looking at people that could bring content curation in terms of a social media aspect. It's definitely a big, problem to challenge. And, the more dynamic perspectives we can get on it, on what to create, what to send, how to build that brand culture on our social media platform, that'd be great. And, we're looking forward to see, what other students, what other people out there in Chicago could help us out with that.
Exactly. For the most part, I'm assuming everybody watching this is fairly young, so they'll have our perspective in regards to how to reach out to other students, and how to attract their attention via social media. So if anybody watching this has any points or tips, we'd love to hear it.
You can always just check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever is convenient for you. We check them daily.
At Clearmaze for Instagram, and then Twitter is at Clearmaze Tech.
Facebook is at Clearmaze Tech as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can just slide in the DMs over there and we can talk.
Clearmaze, an easier way to transfer. That was good. I like that. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.